Amanda Knox is back in the news. The American college student was convicted in an Italian court of the 2007 slaying of her roommate, Meredith Kircher. She was sentenced to 26 years. Now, prosecutors in Italy are saying that's not enough time. They reportedly want to put her away for life. Joining us now with some insight is NBC legal analyst Dan Abrams. Dan, good morning. Good to see you. I mentioned earlier we keep trying to look at this in the American justice system prison. Very different there, and one of the big differences, the prosecution can actually appeal the sentence.
That's right. Here, effectively, prosecutors get one bite at the apple, meaning if they lose the case or there's a sentence they're not happy with, that's it. That becomes the bottom. But in Italy, as in some other countries, the prosecutors actually have the opportunity to appeal the sentence, and here it seems pretty clear that this prosecutor wants a stiffer sentence.
There are two appeals now going on. So if the prosecution is appealing, this happens on the heels of Amanda's team appealing her conviction. So does this bring everything on the table? Does the system there allow all evidence to come back into play?
That's right. It effectively becomes a second look at the evidence, meaning here an appeal just looks at whether there were legal mistakes made by the judge below. For example, did the judge give an inaccurate jury instruction which tainted the trial? That's the sort of question you'd ask here. Were there legal mistakes made? But in Italy, they can actually look at all of the facts again, thereby generally helping defendants in the sense that a defendant can get a new jury/judge looking at the evidence. But here the prosecutor's also saying, we want you to look at this again and consider a stiffer sentence.
And some new evidence could, in effect, come into a play. Back in March, there was a confession by a prison inmate who would talk to a third defendant in this case who says it was another guy that killed Meredith Kircher, that Amanda Knox wasn't even in the room.
Yeah, this certainly could come in as well. This isn't the first time someone has come forward with a prison confession information in connection with this case. This is someone who says that he was in the same cell as the third defendant in this case, and that the third defendant made comments which could help Amanda Knox. Now, is that going to be relevant? Possibly. But is that going to be the sort of smoking gun that changes everything? I would doubt it.
And it's not lost on anyone that the prosecutor who may be asking for this appeal has also run afoul of the law himself in another case here. And some have to wonder if this is a face-saving maneuver.
Yeah, maybe. And some would say, well, does it matter? Does it matter that this prosecutor is currently having legal problems? Well, the answer is, as a legal matter, it shouldn't. As a practical matter, it might. Meaning, this is a case that's being viewed by the world. The Italian justice system is on trial, effectively, in this case, and is being scrutinized by the world. And I think that as a result, this own prosecutor's legal problems can't be ignored by the Italian public at large, by the Italian jury and judge. And I say that only to say that I think it would be very hard for this new judge/jury to look at the case and say we should up the sentence, not just because of this prosecutor's legal trouble, but because of all the evidence, because of everything that's happened. I think it's very unlikely that a new judge or jury is going to up the sentence. I think it's much more likely that they will reduce the sentence, as they did with that third defendant who was tried separately.
All right. Dan Abrams, good to have you here.
All right,
Thank you much.